member came to me and said, hey, her husband's a big Chosen fan. Have I ever heard about it? I have. Did not know much about it. And she said, they're looking for a place to film. Would you be open to that? And I had some experience a few years ago at a different property with film. It did not go so great, but it was a great learning moment. And so I said, yeah, for sure, give him my cell phone number. We'll see what happens. And a few short weeks later, Dallas Jenkins calls me on my cell phone. We had a wonderful conversation. I still didn't know who he was. Had a wonderful conversation with him. And from there, we hung up the phone. I thought, I probably won't hear from that person again. But just in case, I started watching The Chosen from my cell phone, on my cell phone at my desk. It's no secret that people who know me, I'm not, and I think most of us kind of fit this category, not a huge Christian film fan. I think that the message is great, but they sacrifice quality sometimes for the message. And there's a lot of reasons for that. So it's not a knock on it. It just didn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all kind of get it, right? And so I watched episode 1 there at my desk, and I was watching it strictly to research and say, hey, if I were to come bring this to the Salvation Army, who are we bringing to the Salvation Army? Is the mission aligned? How is the reputation? All those things. So it's more research and development, more than it was watching it. Because I just passed it like this. I'm not going to enjoy this. So I was watching it, and as I was watching it on my phone, I was doing other things, and I kept getting drawn to it. And I think most of us have the story, but if you watched it, season 1, episode 1, and you know where I'm going, the very end of that, where Jesus calls Mary by name. When he calls Mary by name, it's almost as if he's calling us. Yeah. It's almost as if he said, Casey, I know your name, and I'm there. And that wrecked me. I just sat there and I sobbed, and I sobbed, and I went to the next one, and I went to the next one. Before he knew it, I was watching The Chosen. And so, anyways, now I'm taking home he calls, right? And he has it. So fast forward, I'll make this very quick. One Sunday, after the dark days of online worship, as a worship leader doing that. So we watched it on TV. We're like, well, let's go eat. So we had family plans. Then right as we were walking out the door, Dallas Jenkins calls my cell phone and said, hey, we're in a bind. We're here from Chicago, scouting. We're on the way to look at a property, and they just canceled us. Is there any way I can come and bring some stakeholders? And I put it on mute. I said, hold on. I looked at my wife, who was on speaker, and she said, I feel it too. You need to stay. And so that's huge because family time. Okay, so I said, Dallas, come on by. And so they went to eat, and I stayed, and we met in the lobby of the Cofield. The famous I'll Fight plaque was right there. I met everybody, and then the first thing Dallas said is, who is that? Talking about William Booth. And I was able to start our conversation with our founder, what that meant, what we're about. And he said, it sounds like we have the same mission, we just have different approaches. Right? And so that was the start of, I think, a beautiful and prosperous relationship. I gave him a tour of Camp Hoblitzelle. He was not that interested in the buildings I was showing him. He lost interest at the very end over at the Alamo and said, we'll let you know. And I said, I thought you wanted to see some pasture lands. And he said, oh, there's more? I said, like 700 acres more. Yeah. That's when he gets excited. He jumps in my golf cart. We drive out to the wastewater treatment plant. If anyone knows that, that's where we were. And that's when he grabbed my arm and said, pull over. And he jumps out and does the director's thing and said, this is it. This is Israel. I can film here.
Oh, wow.